Hey, Nick here. Hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to change it up a little bit today. I've been talking a lot about design and development, and I was actually going to talk about the process and the lessons I've learned in selecting development resources to build software or app projects. Definitely learned a lot of lessons on that front, but I had a request to talk about the budget that we are using for this playbook project. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. And we're just going to, I've done this in the past, but rather than show you a completed template, I just wanted to do a budget live for you. So here is when we are going to, here's our launch date for the MVP of Playbook. So that October 17th, 89 days from today. And so what we're going to talk about here is we started right around January 1st or July 1st, maybe a couple days before that. And so I'm just going to lay out some months here. We're just going to calculate the expenses, anticipated expenses for this project. One of my key lessons in the past is, it's really hard to build a fully baked out version of a software product for, you know, a couple $1,000s unless you know development or a developer yourself. If you're a non-technical founder like myself, going to build a software project, it's just inevitable that it's going to be a relatively material investment. Everybody has different definitions of material, but getting a project built for $3, $4, $5,000 is pretty unrealistic unless one, can code yourself, or two, have a co-founder that is contributing their development via a sweat equity mechanism. So here, let's just kind of lay out the expenses, and we'll just really shoot from the hip a little bit here. So the first one is Many Pixels, which is a service that we are using for unlimited design, and that is $399 a month. My other business is using actually the majority of that work right now, but I'm going to burden this playbook project for all of that. So $399 a month, and we're going to run that all the way out until October. As many of you know, I found Many Pixels to be great, but it wasn't best for a bunch of quick iterations. They basically made one change per day. And given the scope of this project, we wanted to compress, what's probably 2 months of design work down into 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And so I've used a outside contractor that I found on Upwork, and I'm guessing that is going to cost. We only have a couple $100s into that already, but I'll just say $1,000 in July, $500 in August, and then we'll just plan on a little bit of development work for the rest of the time. I'm also going to sign up for a service called Product Hunt Ship. It's basically a kind of a set of marketing tools to start to gather email lists and potentially to get promoted to Product Hunt's list. And so I'm going to start paying for that in July, and that's $99 a month. And then the development, that's a big expense. Development, we're going to work, I'll just put in here the weeks equals 3. We're going to work 3 weeks in July, 4 in August, 4 in September, and I was planning on just 1 in October, but we'll say 1.5. This is a full-time development resource, They are $60 an hour. They obviously this is going to vary highly, anywhere from 20 to $300 an hour, depending on your tech stack and where you're developing the product. But for us, so that'll be $2,400 a week. In all reality, this could go on. These things can get quite expensive if we decide to do a bunch more iterating on the product, and hopefully we can. Hopefully we have some initial traction, some good feedback from users, and we can continue to iterate and improve on the product. But for the purposes of just building the MVP, we will quit there. And so legal, I'll get into this in future videos. It doesn't look like we're actually gonna operate this as a subsidiary of another software company I have. Actually, not even a subsidiary, but we're gonna operate it within that company, tracking the financials separately, with the plan to roll it out into its own entity if it gets traction. So we won't be doing a ton of legal work here, but just to dot our I's and cross our T's, we will be likely doing some contract review, maybe just some miscellaneous legal work, and I would anticipate that coming in August and September. Our lawyer is quite expensive. This would only be for an hour or two of work each month, so hopefully we can keep things concise there. I'm going to throw in a little more budget for design, for maybe some different marketing materials, maybe some logos for a marketing site or some graphics. So I'll just actually call this graphic design, and I will budget that for $1,000 in September. And we may experiment with a little bit of marketing, potentially getting some content written or edited. And so I'm going to say, we'll just generate some content, and we'll say, $500 for each of these 3 months. And maybe in addition, maybe just a little bit of marketing spend, similar levels of spend, maybe testing out just some real initial Facebook ads or YouTube ads, maybe generating some videos. And really, I think that's it. That's what, obviously our big line item is development. Well, I'll just put a miscellaneous in here. So for like hosting, any tools we sign up for, shouldn't be much, but we'll put in $250 for that. And that should be it. So if we sum this up, that gets us to a hair under $40,000. And I think that's pretty realistic. If anything, we would come in a little bit light in some of these categories and a little bit heavy here, potentially a little bit heavy here. And so I'd be pretty comfortable with a budget of 35 to a hair over $40,000 for the MVP playbook, the MVP version of Playbook. And yeah, our real goal is to one, get a product that we can use in our company Harvest Profit, to get some paying customers for the product. At the end of the day, the best feedback you can get is from the usage of your customers, not necessarily even what they're telling you, but what they're showing you via their actions. And so that's really the goal here, is to get something that we can put in people's hands and get them to use it. And so and we're doing it relatively quickly. This isn't an immaterial investment. This is a material amount of money for anybody starting a business, for our small business as well. It's a material investment, but at the end of the day, if we can build a tool that's going to add value and create valuable processes and workflows in Harvest Profit, which is our other software company, and then learn along the way and hopefully have a second product that's in the market that's generating profits. Yeah, it's really all comes down to a bet we are making. Nothing is certain, but at the end of the day, we're willing to allocate this amount of capital towards Playbook, and I'm pretty excited about learning and iterating and growing this product in the future. So just wanted to be very transparent about expenses. We'll revisit these over time on these videos on what things are coming in over budget, what things are coming in under budget, what did we miss? I'm sure we missed something here, but at the end of the day, that is my best guess, and it matches up quite well with some ballpark estimating I did here about a month ago when I was evaluating this project. So just wanted to share with you today this video on day 11 of our starting a software company in 100 days project. Would love to have you subscribe to the video, and also if you click the little notification symbol next to the subscribe button so you can follow us along on our journey. So at the end of the day, we're really happy to have you here watching our videos, and we look forward to helping you learn from what we're doing as we build this product. And at the end of the day, if we can add value to things that you're doing in your business, it's been well worth our time. So thank you, and we will talk to you tomorrow.